We're back. Hope you all had a good holiday.
Yeah. Gotta take time off for the 4th, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, because we still love this country.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In a different way, but...
Yeah, in like a less enjoying way.
It's like, I think John Oliver said, like, he was gonna go down with the Titanic and stay in America, and that's how I feel, you know?
Mostly out of, like, laziness, like, there's, like, a lifeboat that I see, but it's so far away.
Moving to another country is a lot of effort.
It's a lot, and, like, I have people here I enjoy, you know? Like, if like, everybody I knew was not a thing, I might move.
Yeah.
But that's not the case.
It'd be hard to drop everything and go to, another land.
And also, who's to say they want us? You know, like, Canada doesn't accept anybody.
No, they're not
It's
interested.
tough to move to Canada.
I don't know who would take us at this point.
I wouldn't take us. We're
Mexico?
fucking imploding ourselves. I think Mexico would just, like, if I were Mexico, I would say no to us, just out of principle, you know? Like, karma's a bitch.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah. You see I saw their, like, president-elect canceled. They're gonna buy this really expensive helicopter from us, and he canceled it.
Good on him.
Which, first of all, I saw the price tag. It was like a $1 billion helicopter. What the fuck kind of helicopter is that?
Holy shit. Do you live in it?
Yeah, I mean, that has to be their White House or whatever. You can't just spend $1 billion of taxpayer money on a helicopter.
That's
regardless
crazy.
of the country.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to know why that's so. Like, is it like a war helicopter?
I have no idea. I did not go further into the article than the headline, I'll be honest, but it seemed impressive.
Yeah, we're millennials. We can't be expected to do anything else, you know?
Yeah, exactly. We're in a fast-paced society. Okay, this was not our planned intro whatsoever.
No, it's not.
But I like the way it went.
Yeah. This is what you get at Drinking Buddies, you know? It's organic.
Exactly.
We're not going off a script.
No, we do not. We definitely don't rehearse.
Oh God, no. We do research the 10 minutes beforehand and then wing it.
That's what the time before the show is. This research time. The 10 minutes before we start, and when we start our Skype call is the research time. Everyone knows this now.
Yeah. What were we going to talk about? Should we talk about that still?
Oh well, look how free and mobile I am.
Yeah, look at you. Did you just get up and walk away?
I did. I'm walking. I'm on the other side of the room now, podcasting. Look at this. I'm not even on the screen.
Eric? How is this possible?
I'm not tied. Well, I am tied down to a cable because my mic's on a cable, but my headphones are not because I have Bluetooth headphones now.
The future.
Look at this.
I can't do that. I'm a schmuck.
No, if you were to get up, you'd be like, it would tug at you, and you'd like jolt forward.
I'd momentarily hurt my ears a little bit.
Yeah, it's a major mild inconvenience, but for me, this is not the case.
Yeah, you're living in the future.
Look at me. Look how far away I am.
Yeah, you're rubbing it in, you son of a bitch. Getting up and walking behind your chair and then sitting back down.
With the freedom to do so.
Oh, jeez.
Just wait till they die halfway through the episode, and then I panic, and they all guess this shit. Alright, this is episode 39. If you haven't already, make sure to rate us and subscribe on iTunes, SoundCloud. Well, I don't know if you can subscribe on SoundCloud. Can you? I think we should know this after 39 episodes. Yeah, you can follow. I think that's what they call it. Make sure you rate us on all the mediums that you listen to us on.
You know how, like, whenever, like, a tweet becomes famous, everybody, like, says Venmo me or follow me on, or, like, listen to my SoundCloud.
People say Venmo me?
Yeah, people say Venmo me.
I haven't seen that, and that's bullshit, to be honest.
Yeah, that's complete. You're on Twitter. You should get paid for it.
No, it's like, and also, if you're not famous, like, shut the fuck up. Like, you've had one good tweet that just, you got lucky. I think there's a lot of luck that goes into it, because it pops up on people's timelines in different ways, like through retweets, and if other people like it now.
I am going to choose to believe it's mostly luck, because I think my tweets are hysterical, They've not gone viral yet. I think that's bullshit.
There's definitely, we haven't talked about this. This is like a conspiracy theory, and I don't know the exact conspiracy theory, but I think there was definitely a point in time where likes and retweets on tweets, like what was considered a big tweet, shot up exponentially. I feel like a couple years ago, a lot would, like now big tweets get like hundreds of thousands of, you know, like to be a big tweet, it's like 20,000 plus.
That's
I feel
true.
like that wasn't the case not that long ago. I don't think their user base expanded that much.
Twitter is struggling, isn't it? It's like the poor platform right now. Like Instagram is making a ton of money. Facebook, of course, is because it's selling all of our data. Isn't Twitter like struggling to stay green?
Yeah, I mean the worst one's Snapchat. They're lower than Twitter.
Good. I'm glad Twitter's not the last because it's the only one I care about.
Yeah, but yeah, they haven't done a good job monetizing their site, which I don't care about because I don't pay for it.
Yeah. The second they make me pay, I'm fucked.
They have
because I ain't paying out of principle.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's also like a critical part of my life.
What happens? So like, there's a lot of controversy with Twitter these days. Like you hear about like people are mad about the reporting system. They feel like the company's just not run like in a great way in terms of how the website functions. What would happen if we did hit a breaking point and like everyone leaves? Like, is it just Reddit after that?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like something.
Because I wouldn't know what to do.
I wouldn't. Would it go like it wouldn't go back to Facebook?
No, it would not. Someone would make another site. I think. I feel like that needs to happen anyway.
Yeah, I feel like we're due for another social media platform. You know, we got like kind of like Facebook and Twitter came in the same wave, and then Instagram and Snapchat came in the same wave.
The next wave, yeah.
Vine was kind of its own thing. R.I.P.
Yeah, I guess Twitter said they were going to bring that back, but
yeah, I don't know. I feel like we are due for one. I feel like it would go to Snapchat for some reason.
Why is that? It's the thing about Twitter is like it's the unlimited scroll, right? It's like a news scroll.
That's true. I mean, it's got it in common with Instagram, but Instagram's so much more like showing off your life.
Yeah, that's why I don't really like Instagram.
I hate Instagram. I think it's my least favorite of all of them. Yeah.
Facebook has its purpose, like really just reminding me of when people's birthdays are. That's really the only purpose.
Yes, absolutely. That and texting people.
Yeah,
that's
Messenger
literally
is
the
good.
only things I use it for.
They did well with Messenger, but everything else is, I don't use it.
Nobody does anymore. Like, nobody our age, which I've been told is the only people that matter.
What's the word on the street?
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be tragic. It really would be. I feel like Twitter is not super popular. Like, if you think about it, most people don't have Twitter and aren't on it. Some people that do are never on it, you know? I feel like it's the smallest of them, but I also feel like it's the most important.
Yeah, I think it's like the one that people who've dove in and like, I mean, I don't want to sound douchey, but like get it. You know what I mean?
You're only kind of sounding it, but you're absolutely correct.
People who have dove into it, they can't live without it now, and I'm in that group. So I just wonder what Twitter will have to do, because I feel like they're gonna push that line of like, fuck these guys so much that I can't do it anymore.
Yeah. Shall we get to other stuff?
We don't even know what they don't even know what the episode is yet.
Oh,
this has been an interesting episode. We have just avoided script. I don't even know why we scripted this. We didn't script it, but we wrote out bullet points.
Because we don't script our episodes.
We don't. That is true.
Obviously.
Yeah, I don't think
you don't need us to tell you that. Yeah. It's quite obvious.
Did we even get through the intro? I don't think we did. We got stuck. All right, follow us on Twitter, which we discussed about as the most important social media site at DBuddiesPod. We do have a Facebook, which we just kind of shit on. Like us there. We don't have an Instagram. We have a YouTube page that is, I promise, in the works behind the scenes. It's kind of a two-step process. We have to make all the videos, and they take a long ass time. So I think we'll just unload them all once we catch up.
Yeah.
And then Noah might at one point in time in his lifetime make the bios
damn
for
it,
the
I'll
videos.
do it. I'll do it. I swear.
I think that's
got
everything.
that in me.
Yeah. I think that's everything. So this is episode. Oh, geez. I didn't write the shit we forgot on the fucking rundown again.
Every time.
I want to write that. I'm just gonna write SWF, and when we get to the end, I'm gonna be like, "What the fuck's SWF?" I am drinking Mirror Pond Pale Ale again. It's the same pack I got last time. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking Languta's Ale, 12th of Never.
That sounds fancy.
It does. I volunteered at this event, and then they had a bunch of it was like a silent auction, and I was the bartender. And then they had a bunch of extra beers left, so I bought like 15 for $5.
They made you pay?
Yeah, they did kind of make me pay.
Kinda
But like
sucks.
15 for $5.
Yeah, that's a good deal still. I did that once. I bartended as an intern when I worked for a professional cycling tour in 2014. It sucks that 2014 was 4 years ago, by the way.
Holy shit, it does.
Yeah. That's not great.
That feels like in the pretty recent past.
I still feel like, and I'm gonna sound like this for like the rest of my life, but I feel like the 2000s still feel not that far ago. It's almost been 20 years.
I feel like 2007 was like, will always feel like a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's more like the later, you're right. It's not really like 2000, we were still like kindergarten and shit. But like 2007, 2008, like 2008 was 10 years ago.
That's wild.
A decade.
Yeah, no, that's stupid. You know, I saw a tweet the other day. Do you remember the killer clowns running around in 2016?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild. We forgot it. Like, we don't talk about that. It's a crazy thing that happened.
Yeah, that was a real big deal.
That was 2 years ago. Killer clowns. 2016 was a fucking ridiculous year.
You're gonna pick out the most obscure facts during your lifetime to tell your kids.
Oh
You're
my
gonna be like,
God.
I was alive with killer clowns. That's like the first thing you're gonna tell them.
Oh, I'm gonna every time I see my grandkids, it's killer clowns. First thing I bring up.
Oh, you guys don't know how lucky you had it. You don't have killer clowns in your lifetime.
Yeah.
I survived the great killer clown outbreak of 2016.
I survived it. You know, I'm a survivor from it.
Did anyone die? No, but they were scared. A lot of them were scared.
I didn't want to walk around at night. I did, but I didn't want to.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself.
So what are we talking about
We
today?
haven't said what the fucking episode is. It's episode 39. This is all about fan theories, which are great. They're like, we love conspiracy theories, as you know. The longtime listeners know we've talked about them in the past, especially in the early days more.
It's a defining part of my personality.
And fan theories are basically conspiracy theories for TV shows and movies, which is another thing we love, as you know, listening to the show. So it's really a combination of those. I don't know why we haven't done this before. It just kind of popped in my head randomly,
Yeah.
like a week or so ago, and then it was our next episode. That tells you how important this is.
It feels like it should have been one of our first episodes.
I'm honestly shocked that we didn't come up with it, in one of our first runs. So I think to kind of continue on our rambled style we're going for this episode, I think we're just gonna reel them off. Are we starting with our bigger one? We have two. Both of us have a kind of a big one that we think is really important that you all need to hear. We're starting off with those, correct?
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay. I've talked a lot. You should go.
All right. So my first one is about It's All Sun in Philadelphia, and this is one I believe with all of my heart. I believed it before I even read it, but I didn't have any of the proof. Like, they did the research and watched it, and I had it in my brain. I was like, I do think this is it. So you have all the characters, like the 5 main characters, and then you have Dennis Reynolds, who I believe is a serial killer. He's a fucking psychopath. So, the whole thing was about a 20-minute read? 15-minute? It went into detail, correct?
It was very detailed, yeah. I believe my text to you after reading it was this man should win a Pulitzer.
That is your exact text, and he should, absolutely. So throughout the whole show, of like 4 or 5 times, it's been referenced how much Dennis loves human skin. He talked about skinning people, skinning his sister, and making a lampshade out of her, which I'm saying this now, and in the context of the show, that's funny. It's a little bit psychotic, just repeating it out loud. What else was it? Dennis is addicted to crack, cocaine, which I'm reading the TLDR section right now, and that doesn't
which is short for too long didn't read for those.
Is that what it's short for?
You didn't know that?
I think I did at some point, but I've just assumed it meant summary. Wow. I read a lot of Reddit to not know that.
I just assumed it meant summary.
Alright, so the main thing is, at one point his dad tricks him to dig up his mother's grave. And because of that, Dennis Reynolds, before that, he didn't really have feelings, and he talked about that. And then after he dug up his mother's grave, he kind of had a break, and like kind of broke psychologically and cried a lot and had a mental breakdown. And then after that, I think it was the episode after, but maybe a couple episodes later in the season.
It was the next episode.
It was the next episode. He runs into a Brian Lefebvre. Is that how you pronounce the name? That is, right?
I think, yeah, it's close enough.
Outside of Patty's Pub. And they find his wallet. No, they find his wallet outside of Patty's Pub. I'm butchering this explanation right now. They find his wallet outside, and the whole episode is him, quote unquote, getting into his skin, Brian Lefebvre's. Cause
this guy's like a high roller, right? Like he's like,
a high roller.
They have like Phillies tickets to like the press box, and so he's like basically like stealing this guy's identity because they found his wallet.
Yeah. And, okay, so now I remember. I'm butchering this. Now I remember why the crack cocaine made sense. At the end of the episode, they found out that Brian Lefebvre was killed by a crackhead, quote unquote, and Dennis happens to be a crackhead. So like, that makes sense. It arouses him to climb into another person's skin. In the episode directly after the one with Lefebvre, Dennis wants to celebrate and go out, and he has a lot of energy. And at the end of the episode, he realizes that, quote unquote, he is a god, which is what a lot of serial killers think. They think they are like a god, and they are orchestrating everything. And really, just throughout the whole show, he like engages in fantasies of murder constantly, and it keeps increasing throughout the show. Yeah, what else am I forgetting? I'm forgetting a good amount.
The Buffalo Bill thing was the biggest detail from me. I'm not sure if it's in the bottom bullet points he put, but in the piece, Buffalo Bill is the serial killer from Silence of the Lambs. Right. And I guess there's a scene with Dennis at one point in the show that's very similar to the scene with Buffalo Bill, where they're both listening to like an 80s love song, they're shirtless, they're putting on lipstick, looking at themselves in the mirror, and about to be dressed as women. Like, all those details line up exactly. So that was kind of people think that's a hint towards it.
Very true. The other one I forgot was a before Brian Lefebvre episode. There's another serial killer, Gary the serial killer, that makes an appearance.
Right, yeah.
And he tries to get in the mind of the serial killer to we don't know who it is for most of the episode. And Dennis is trying to figure out who it is to get in the mind of it, because he's like curious and intrigued by this. And he like pretends to hunt down another character, the waitress, and he really enjoys it and is kind of disappointed he couldn't kill her because he hasn't crossed that barrier yet, like he will later in the show. Yeah, I think those were all the main points, right?
Yeah, I think in a later episode, he like replicated a head and put it in his fridge or something like that, which is what Gary the serial killer did seasons earlier. Sidebar, I saw the waitress in something other than It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia the other day, and it really threw me.
What did you see her in?
She was in one of the sketches from Drunk History.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You clearly have not taken my recommendation to watch Santa Clarita Diet, because she's also in that. You son of a bitch. It's a great fucking show. I
played myself.
Oh, you son of a bitch. There's one show you all should watch, including you, Eric. It's that fucking show.
Okay,
it's
okay.
Genius,
I'll bump it up my list.
Fasted.
I'll bump it up my list, okay.
Ugh.
Do you have anything else to add other than that Dennis absolutely is a serial killer and It's Always Sunny?
He just is. I believe this with all my heart.
Yeah. It's something they would do, too.
Mm-hmm. Like they've led on Mac is gay.
Yeah.
Which he came out last season. They've been leading this on forever.
Yeah.
There's another conspiracy theory that Dee and Charlie had sex or are together.
I saw that. I haven't read the details on it, but just when that was brought up, I was like, I don't think so, but there must be some detail.
There's a few things. I can't remember what they are, but it's definitely the weakest of the three.
Yeah. Alright, I think I'll move on to my first one. And this is a big one. In a way, the Sunny one might be a nod to this one, honestly. And that is that Toby Flenderson from The Office is, in fact, the Scranton Strangler. Now, this is quite shocking if you've not heard this conspiracy theory before. But when you actually read the details and the clues for it, it actually makes a lot of sense.
Lay it on me.
I'll lay it on you. So, it basically coincides with how they all make fun of him and give him a bunch of shit. Obviously, that's the breaking point, so to speak, of it. And then he goes to Costa Rica for a while, and he breaks his body ziplining or whatever. And that fits into the timeline of when the murders started happening. Sometime after that, while he's still out and not on the show. The biggest details are, well, there's a few of them. So the big one is that if you look closely, I don't know if you remember, there's the car chase with the Scranton Strangler where they're all gathered around a desk.
Yeah.
And they're watching the screen. I don't know if you remember, this is a smaller detail. The phone at that desk rings, and someone picks it up and puts it down real fast so that it's just hang up on them.
Yeah.
So there's three really big details just in that little sequence. The first one is that is Toby's desk, and he is not there.
Oh.
The second one is that his phone was ringing, and they chose to hang it up. So was it, maybe his ex-wife, because he always talks about how he's divorced, or someone who knew he was, in a time of peril or something like that. And then the third thing is the car in the car chase is actually shown frequently in their parking lot.
Shut up.
That is true. That is absolutely true. It's one of the cars that's just shown when they show the parking lot. So people.
I'm getting shivers right now.
Yeah, man, it's real. It's so real. The other detail was when I don't know if you remember, he goes to the jail to meet with the guy who was convicted. Well, and then later he just they're saying he has a lot of guilt about it because he was on the jury and they convicted the dude, right?
True.
And he always talks about how he thinks they got the wrong man. He always talks about how that they put an innocent man in jail, I think is his exact quote. And he goes to visit him. I don't know if you remember this. It was in a later season. And he comes out with a neck brace because he got the shit beat out of him. So people think that he confessed to the real Scranton Strangler, and the dude just beats the shit out of him because he put him in jail. But yeah.
I 100% believe this theory. Sign me the fuck up. Yes, absolutely.
I think it's real.
Especially the desk thing and the car.
That's the big one, yeah.
Wow. And it makes sense because he's such a defeated person. And the stereotypical serial killer is a defeated person that needs to take their aggression out because everybody takes it out on them in regular day life, you know?
Yeah.
The motivation is there to kill random people.
Yeah, no, I think it seems pretty legit because, really that one, the car chase scene is the big one. If you get a chance to look it up on YouTube or something. But yeah, those are the three big details are that it is Toby's desk and he is not pictured in the crowd.
Oh man.
His phone rings, and then the car thing is really brief. But I watched a 10-minute YouTube video on this, so I know it's real now. Yeah, exactly. But they kind of slowed it down, and you can see the car it's a car that they have shown in the parking lot before.
Wow. I feel like nervous, like he's alive, and I know that
he knows now. Yeah,
he knows I know, and he's coming for me now. That's creepy.
Yeah, it's actually pretty creepy.
It's also like everybody's always there in the office, unless if there's an explanation. Yeah. Except for that time, there's no explanation.
Yeah, man, that's the theory.
Shit, that's wild.
There's the other one where that's not as cool, that he was poisoning everyone with radon.
Yeah, I was about to get into that one. Not that he's poisoning.
Okay.
It's that the show starts off where all the characters are like kind of believable but weird quirky office characters, a little bit of exaggeration. But as the show goes on, they get crazier and crazier. It's like, to the point it's kind of just ridiculous. And there's an ongoing joke that Toby wants to get the office tested for radon, like a chemical thing, that's poisonous to people. And the theory is that the office is infected with it, and it's giving people like brain problems, which is why the longer they stay there, the more crazy they get. Especially Michael, who's been there forever, you know. And then when Michael leaves with his girlfriend, I can't remember the name, Holly. When Michael leaves with Holly to Colorado, when he comes back for the finale, he seems really normal because he got away from the poison. You know, his brain got back to normal.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Not as in depth.
No, not as mind blowing, but that's still a good one.
It is a good one, but I 100% believe yours.
Yeah. All right. Do you have another one you want to go, or do you want me to go to my next one?
We can switch off.
Okay. My next one, I don't really believe this one the same way I believe that Toby is a Grand Strangler, but I want it to be true so bad that I'm willing to just mention it second off. And it's the theory that Malcolm from Malcolm in the Middle actually is the Walter White character from Breaking Bad.
I love it.
It's not as in-depth as the Toby one. There's a few things that go to it. One, Malcolm is not a particularly great student, but the one thing he does excel at in the show is chemistry, which is the link to the chemistry teacher. The second thing is that in the show, Malcolm is close to his grandfather, which is Hal's dad, whose name is Walter. And I don't think they mention at all the last name of the family. So, presumably, in this theory, it's White. And then the last one is obviously the connection to Bryan Cranston, so the theory would be Malcolm would grow up to look like his dad. They share similar qualities in that they're both incredibly intelligent, but have this dark side to them as well. Those are the real points that the theory hinges on. But I thought it was kind of cool when I first read it.
I think it's super interesting. I'm a fan. I'm also a huge fan of just Malcolm in the Middle in general. Such a great show.
Great show.
It was hysterical. It was the type of show when I was 12 or 13 I'd watch it, and at that age I would really relate to Malcolm because he was my age. Mm-hmm. And then I rewatched it a couple years ago and I really related to the older brother, and I was like, it stays great. And I feel like if I would watch it as parents, I'd really relate to the parents.
Yeah, I think that was a really good show. It was really well done. I'll never forget the episode where Malcolm goes out and gets hammered on Thanksgiving, and he comes back and pukes in the turkey. I don't know why that's my resounding memory from Malcolm in the Middle, but it just is.
Yeah, that's great. I think my memory is when Hal gets the wood chipper, and they just throw everything in the wood chipper.
That's a good one.
It's a classic. It's exactly what you should do with a wood chipper.
Alright, what's your next one?
My next one is everyone in the Simpsons family is a genius. So it starts off with the grandfather.
Wait, Noah, no they're not.
Oh, yes they are, Eric, you simpleton. Without looking at the details. So, it starts off with the grandpa, and he's senile now because of old age and dementia and whatnot. but if you, like, there's a lot of flashbacks where he has, like, incredible skills, like being a fighter pilot and accomplished pianist. So he, like, clearly has really above average intelligence. And then there's an episode where Homer, he gets, like, a brain scan, and he has a crayon lodged into his brain. And then they remove it during the episode, and he becomes a genius, proving, like, God doesn't exist. But because of his geniusness, everybody in his family and friends and community hate him and ostracize him. So he decides to put the crayon back in. Because, like, he realizes he's miserable being smart. And Bart kind of sees this, and from it, like, he sees how happy Homer is, even though he's an idiot. So when, like, there's been also flashbacks of Bart when he was a kid, where he was incredibly gifted when he was young. But then it steadily declined. Why, you might ask, Eric?
Why? Why would he do that?
Because he realizes life's better when you're smart. I mean, when you're dumb. And ignorance is bliss, so he decides to follow his father's path. And really, most of his pranks are really genius and clever, so, like, that's his outlet for his geniusness.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm with you so far.
And then Lisa's the only one who decides to embrace her geniusness. But she's also miserable. She hates life and she hates everything because she sees what the world is for, which only further embraces why Bart would just choose to be an idiot.
Yeah.
And then, clearly Maggie's an infant, so, she really hasn't had that yet. And then Marge isn't biologically a Simpson, so that explains that. But I'm on board.
I caught a glimpse though of that one. I didn't read it as far in detail as you did, but I saw even Marge when they flash back to her college days. She was a bright student.
Huh? Absolutely. Yeah. I skipped the Marge part after I read that she's not a Simpson.
But yeah, I mean, no, yeah, it makes sense with what you're saying. But all right, my third one is from the Rugrats, and it's a theory that Angelica is actually the only child alive, and all the babies are actually dead. It's a very sinister one, I'll admit.
That is dark.
But
Dead Babies is dark.
Dead Babies is dark. It really seeks to... It seeks to answer the question why Angelica is the only one who can talk to the baby, and that's the premise of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically they all serve a purpose in her own imagination. Like how, I guess Tommy's dad is always a nervous wreck, and it's because he lost a son. There's one that was born or stillborn, and Angelica never knew the gender, so that's why they're biological. That's why there's two of them are twins, one of each sex. Things like that, and so it's kind of a dark twist, and it fits in well with what the show is. However, the creator has come out and said that it is false. So
yeah, well, the creator's a liar, so fuck him.
That's true. Maybe they got caught.
I like that theory a lot. I just feel like it adds so much more depth to the show, which is always nice. If it has a hidden meaning, you know. It's kind of like why I'm still locked into Westworld, because I just feel like there's an end point. I feel like there's so much more to the show than there is.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the root of that one.
I got one.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like an explanation more than a theory. But it's why everyone in Guardians of the Galaxy sounds like they're they cuss a lot of profanity. And it's because he got taken away from humanity when he was 8. So that's where his English stopped, when he was an 8-year-old.
Oh, I see.
So his translator is everything being translated from an 8-year-old's point of view.
Interesting. I never really thought of that one. By the way, doing research for this, I saw the worst fan theory on Reddit. It was on the fan theory subreddit.
That's saying a lot. What is it?
Yeah, it was the worst one ever. It was one. The title was just like James Gunn, who's the director of Guardians of the Galaxy, confirmed my fan theory from months ago, and I clicked on it thinking it was going to be like something like that, something in depth that kind of explains a piece of the movie. And the theory that he came up with was that Baby Groot and Groot are two different characters and not the same character reincarnated.
So his theory was just watching the fucking movie.
That's not a fan theory. That's a fucking observation.
That's a plot point.
Like, anyone who's seen the first Guardians of the Galaxy, like, if you walked away out of the first Guardians of the Galaxy and thought, yeah, this new Groot is the same Groot, I don't understand how, like, a majority of people, because there'd have to be a vast majority for this to be a legitimate fan theory, right? Like, a vast majority of people.
If you're one of our listeners who thought it was the same Groot, stop listening. We expect better out of our listeners.
Don't unsubscribe and still rate, but like,
we still want the stats. But don't listen to the downloaded episodes. Like, just play it and then turn it down and then do whatever you want to do, like being an idiot.
But it's like Baby Groot is not Groot. It's a different fucking character. That was obvious from the first one.
Yeah, it was like his kid or I don't know. Like his seeded kid.
Exactly. Groot's a fucking plant. And he died, and then they got his seed. And the seed started growing at the very end of the first one. I didn't feel like this was shocking news, but apparently
it was. Is it a fucking phoenix? No. It's an alien.
It's an alien plant that can only say his name. Alright, I'm gonna go to my next one, which is very similar to the one I just said. But that is from the movie Grease. The musical film. And that's the theory. Really?
I'm like the only person left.
My mom is screaming at you through the podcast right now.
I'm sorry, Robin. Forgive me.
The theory is that Sandy actually died in the beginning when Danny goes to save her from drowning, and the remaining part of the film is like a lucid dream as her brain loses oxygen, and eventually her and Danny in her fantasy go to heaven together when the car starts flying at the very end.
What the fuck? The car flies at the end?
Oh yeah, you haven't seen it. Yeah.
That's weird as shit.
I mean, I think that's why someone tried to come up with this theory.
I'm a fan. I've no investment in any of this.
I mean, it's kind of the first time you hear it, you're like, oh fuck. But I don't know if it's real. The actress shared it and seemed surprised but interested by it. Like the person who played Sandy. Which my mom was also screaming at me. My mom was screaming at me for not knowing her name off the top of my head.
Alright,
do you have another one?
Yeah, I got two more. I got one that like I've read on Twitter, so I didn't even need to go to Reddit for this one, but I reread it. And it's that from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air that Will actually died in the fight on the basketball court in West Philadelphia. The taxi driver is God, who drives a rare cab and takes Will to heaven, where he works out all of his issues with his wealthy aunt and uncle. Because like really the show is just him maturing and becoming, like, working out all of his issues and becoming a mature adult. And the reason Will only sees his immediate family is on special occasions, like holidays, is because that's when they visit his grave.
Oh.
It's dark.
That's kind of creepy.
It's a little bit creepy, but I like it.
Yeah, I'm on board with it, for sure. It's just, it's a very dark spin.
Mm-hmm. I like dark fan theories, though.
Most of them are.
Yeah, they really are.
Most of them are trying to find like darker meaning behind some of these like kids shows.
Which makes sense because they're mostly Redditors, so.
Reddit's a dark place.
It is.
It just makes sense because actually my next two are also kids shows or kids things gone dark. My next one is about the Haunted Mansion ride at Disneyland / also Disney World. And that is that the Haunted Mansion ride, the point of, I guess, like, the story of the ride is that you, the rider, the character of the ride, actually commit suicide halfway through and then become a ghost. And it has to do with the way the ride's set up. So at the beginning, you see a bunch of ghosts, and then at a certain point, you see, I believe the only human that is, like, featured on the ride is a gardener, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since I wrote it, but I read this in the thing. But he looks scared of you and runs away from you, and he's at the bottom of, like, a big balcony, I guess. So it's like you jumped off. And then
it makes sense as a gardener, because, like, a gardener of a graveyard.
There you go. Oh my god, this just got much more deeper. And then it kind of continues on that plot line, but basically that's kind of the story, theory of the ride.
I like this one because it also feels like it could be real. I feel like some artist designing the ride, like the plot, like thought this would be like a really cool, like, just story. I don't know, like I think somebody could have put thought into this and really thought to create that.
Yeah, I think this one of them is, like, somewhat believable.
Yeah. My next one is Parks and Rec. It's about Ron Swanson. So why does Ron Swanson work at a parks department even though he hates government, Eric?
Well, so in the show, I don't remember. He said his explanation was so he could, like, take it down from the inside. Wasn't that what he kind of said?
That is what he says. Yeah, is that
not satisfactory to you?
It is not satisfactory to me because he's been doing an awful job at it because the park department was pretty successful. You know, his real reason for working in the parks department is throughout the run of the show, he mentions a few times his buried treasure buried somewhere in Pawnee. So it's like under a tree. In some park of some sort. So he works a government job in the parks department to make sure nobody digs up that area to find his treasure.
Oh, that would be pretty good.
Yeah, it feels like more realistic. Maybe like both of them are reasons, but this feels like the other one feels like a cool plus. This feels like a real reason.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think that could be. I think you're on. I think that person's onto something for sure.
Yeah, I'll take credit. You can give that to me.
No, I will not. Was that your last one?
Yeah, that was my last one.
Okay, I only have one more too. Mine is also about a kids show, but it really stands the test of time. Kind of like Malcolm in the Middle. In a way, it's always good, it's always funny, it's always relatable, and that's SpongeBob SquarePants. This fan theory is that, well, there's kind of a couple of them. Let me pull it up again real quick. The first one is that it's all the characters are the 7 deadly sins, and I have them right here. So Squidward is wrath, Mr. Krabs is greed, Plankton is envy. Sandy is pride, Patrick is sloth, SpongeBob is lust, like extreme lust for his job, not like a sexual lust, whereas one Redditor put it, perhaps just his lust for life because he's fucking ready. is an exact reply to this yes. Reddit post. And then Gary is gluttony because he always wants to be fed. And I think
this is the perfect fan theory.
Yeah, I think this is too spot on to be wrong.
Like, what are the odds the creators, all of the main characters, hit every single one of them on accident?
Yeah, it's not. That one's real. And then there's another part of this, well, it's not really part of this, but it's another SpongeBob theory that seems too real to not be true. And that is that the existence of SpongeBob and estranged friends is the result of radiation from nuclear arms testing that was performed on an area called Bikini Atoll in the late 40s and early 50s. And since they live under the atoll, the town is known as Bikini Bottom.
I like that one too. That one feels like a little bit of a stretch. It makes sense, for sure.
I feel like it makes sense, though.
No, it does make sense. But, like, I don't know if maybe the creators did put that thought in, and, like, that would make sense if they did.
Yeah.
But it could be.
I don't know.
The other one...
Seven Deadly Sins is real.
You don't do that on accident.
Yeah, you don't accidentally make all the characters one of the 7 Deadly Sins.
And, like, it's that's their defining characteristic.
Exactly, that's the thing, yeah. It's, like, the one thing that stands out about them all. The only stretch one is SpongeBob.
Yeah.
But maybe not, because he is fucking ready as
he is fucking ready.
As Dingo Junction posted on Reddit.
Thank you, Dingo Junction. The Reddit, how Redditors choose their name is beyond me. Because all of them are really dumb.
There's some weird ass ones. Like I'm just going through this Reddit thread, and one is Creepy Chow Mein.
Some of them are just disturbing too.
Yeah. Steez McQueen.
Henry is your boss.
Zorro means fox is one.
Outlaw Josie Wales.
One not good with names is one. One is Philo Pite.
Sweat Budget.
Sweat Budget.
All right, thank you, Sweat Budget.
Mike of all people. Norman Knight. Darklighter 5000.
Darklight. How do you think of that?
Yeah, so I don't know where that shit comes from. His post is pretty dark. It's that Finding Nemo. Nemo was actually a figment of Marlin's imagination.
Oh, I'm intrigued.
So I guess Marlin's journey is the stages of grief, and Nemo in the very beginning, because the first stage of grief is denial. It's denial that one of the eggs survived.
Oh, that's tragic.
So denial is... they say that... Okay, they say it a little differently. Denial, he won't let his son go to school because it's not safe. Anger, he scolds his son for venturing out of control. Bargaining, he puts up with an amnesiac travel buddy to help him find his son. Despair, he sees his son flush down the drain. Acceptance, he learns to let go and let things be the way they are.
That's a good way to end it, you know, a little bit depressing.
To let him go, he travels to the land down under, like the underworld. They go to Australia.
So hell.
Yeah, fuck Nemo. Oh, shit! Nemo means nobody in Latin.
No way!
Yeah!
Oh, fuck, I believe this.
According to Darklighter 5000.
I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah, you look it up.
Wow. If this isn't true, I'm gonna be devastated.
Well, it's kind of killed by Finding Nemo too, right?
It does mean nobody.
It does? Oh, fuck.
Well, I mean, that just means Finding Nemo 2 was a cash grab, which we already knew.
Yeah. It was fine, but it wasn't...
Yeah, it was a good sequel, but it wasn't great. Holy shit.
Man, that is either coincidence or... The Pixar doesn't make coincidences like that.
They don't make coincidences like that.
The name of the movie was Finding Nemo. They wouldn't put that in the title.
Finding no one?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I am getting creeped out right now.
This is too much.
Oh man. This is like watching the Denver airport conspiracy theory where I get like, oh man. Oh jeez, Finding nobody.
I'm
devastated. All right, I don't know how to transition right now.
Well, I think we have some pops planned to maybe to calm our listeners down if they're listening to before bed.
Yeah, I bet you guys are all nervous because I'm nervous right now. I don't know if I'm gonna sleep tonight.
Yeah.
Finding Nobody. So my pop is Santa Clarita Diet, you son of a bitch.
No, it's not.
It's not, but you should be. God damn it. My pop is Malcolm Gladwell's podcast, Revisionist History. It's like the only podcast I listen to where it's not a conversational podcast like ours. It's like a story to tell. And it's just really interesting. It like covers stuff. It covers like a specific event in history, but like broadens it out. Like, so it's applicable to a lot of things. It's just really well done. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I listened to like a couple that are more like story based podcasts. Well, no, you've listened to Belinda Blinked, or My Dad Wrote a Porno.
That's true. I didn't finish it, but yeah, I did listen to a lot of that.
There wasn't a point listening after the first one ended.
Yeah. That was a story, but it was also conversation a lot.
That's true, I guess. Yeah, I'll check that one out. I listened to the Washington Post did one where they have an episode on all of the presidents, which I did not finish.
That's
for obvious reasons.
I got to like Lincoln, I think.
I got around there, and then the election happened, and I just stopped.
Yeah, the 1850s to like the 1900s were just kind of useless. I assume. I get that far.
Alright, and then my pop... Okay, so do you want to talk more about your pop, or...
No, I'm done.
You sound very educated when you... Oh, I listened to Malcolm Gladwell's podcast.
Well, that's because I am educated, Eric.
I listened to it while I read his newest essay.
Yeah. No, I'm better than you and everybody else now. I'm smarter, I'm more aware to the world and the past. You simpleton.
Okay, mine is gonna be... I don't know if I did this. I'm gonna do... should I do this? Yeah, I'll do this. I'm gonna do Solo.
Listeners, let's notice that he chooses a Star Wars movie, and I choose an educating podcast. Let's notice the differences between these two things. So what about Solo?
I thought it'd be appropriate to bring up Solo now, because we can talk about a fan theory involving Solo.
Oh, shit.
It's not a spoiler alert, because it's just a fan theory, right? Is that how it works?
Yeah.
It's a fan theory. Like, it could be wrong. It's just a theory.
If it is, just stop listening if you don't want to be spoiled by our accurate fan theory.
Yeah, because I believe all of our fan theories. I know I've said I believe in them in varying degrees, but I'm very on the side of belief on all of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a fan theory that Kira, Han Solo's love interest in Solo, is actually Rey, the main character from the newest trilogy, Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Kira is actually her mom, is the fan theory.
Love it.
I think it lines up. There's a couple seemed minor, but now major details that kind of work with the fan theory, and that's in The Force Awakens, when Rey meets Han Solo, she refers to him as a smuggler, and she references... I always forget the name, but he does like a... It's referenced frequently in Star Wars that he does this, improbable run in the Millennial Falcon through space. Just through I always forget the name, but he does it in 14 parsecs is the number they always throw out. And over the course of the whole series, actually, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of a good reference, but Han Solo, over time, makes that number smaller, saying he did it faster and faster.
I like that.
So that's actually real, because he actually did it in 14. But she references him as a smuggler who did that, famous run in 14 parsecs. And the joke is he responds in The Force Awakens that I did it in 12. But it's significant because he would be known at that point in time he'd be more famous as a war hero, who fought the Empire, than just a smuggler.
That's
so
very true.
Why is it she knows him as a smuggler? And an answer to that could be that her mom, Kira, knew him as a smuggler. I don't think this is a big spoiler alert. He's a smuggler in the Solo because it's before the war. He's not a war hero yet. So that could be a possible explanation. Also, her parents were referenced as junkers, and her mother was not exactly not a junker.
Yeah, she rose through like society.
Yeah,
in a way.
But at the beginning, she was very low class.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, so that kind of fits in with the whole theory, I guess. And they're both brunettes with British accents.
I'm a fan of it. Because I also feel like it gives Solo more urgency.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like if that's true, it takes Solo to a different level. Because without it, I feel like Solo might not be super necessary. Even though I thought it was really good and it was really fun.
I think it was super underrated. I thought the last 45 minutes was excellent.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. That's a great movie. It's a great Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
I thought Chewie... The only thing that I didn't love was, like, Solo's name origin.
I can't remember what it was.
It was just that officer, because he was alone, so he's like, your last name's Solo.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I feel like that was supposed to be cool, but it wasn't.
I feel like we kind of just all assumed it. You didn't need to explain it.
Exactly. I didn't think that needed an origin story. Like you just call him Solo, Han Solo.
Yeah,
but I thought Chewie's story was good.
I thought like him being like, I don't know if they ever mentioned. I don't remember them ever like him being a former fighting for the Empire. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I just realized we just went from fan theory to complete spoilers.
Yeah, we did. Well, we warned them that there might be spoilers.
That's true.
Fan theory, but yeah.
I mean, if you haven't seen Solo at this point, you're not going to see it until the spoiler ban will be lifted, you know?
Yeah.
Alright. So yeah, that's just something to look out for, and, you know, a lot of people are eagerly awaiting to see if Emilia Clarke will be cast in the 9th Star Wars, because I've seen rumors that might be a possibility, which would confirm the theory, basically.
I really like that theory.
If she's in it, it's true. There's no other reason for her to be in 9.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Her parents can't just be nobody.
That's what people think. A lot of people walked out of the Last Jedi, which I liked, but a lot of Star Wars fans didn't like, and I understand why. It's because it spent a good amount of time just kind of shitting on fan theories. But I think that was all kind of a red herring, you know?
Yeah.
It'd be too obvious just to come out and say it, especially in the second one of a note. You know it's going to be a trilogy.
Yeah.
And, like, why would they reveal that in the second one when that seems like it's a plot point they'd like to build and be a big thing in the last one?
I thought Episode 8 was excellent. I thought it was as good as any other Star Wars movie. I
agree. I thought it had the best lightsaber fight of any of them.
Maybe. Oh my god, yes. When, like, Kylo Ren and Rey were, like, fighting together.
Yeah, in that room. I thought it was visually, like, just amazing with, like, the red. Beautiful. And the and then there's fucking kicking ass. That was, like, one of the best scenes of any Star Wars, I thought.
Yeah. And I think just, like, they've made Kylo Ren, in Episode 7, he was really boring. But in Episode 8, it was so intriguing and relatable in a lot of ways. Like, they really developed the villain really well. Which not a lot of movies can do.
I agree.
Like, Marvel's awful at that.
Yeah, yeah, they're not good. They're not good at that. Like, Thanos, is he a good villain? Sure.
It's like an intriguing, thought-provoking thing, but it's like him himself is nothing.
Yeah, he's just a dude who's like, you know, I want what's best for the universe, and killing everyone, I think, is that best. So, I don't know. But yeah, no, Kylo Ren is a good villain. And I think there's a lot more to Rey's story that they were they wanted to save for 9, and I think 8 will look a lot better when 9 comes out.
Yeah, I think that's good analysis.
Yeah. Because that's what we do. We analyze. We get into the nitty-gritty. We go to places that the normal listener won't want to
go. we force them into it. Because at this point, they're too far deep to get out.
We're holding them podcast hostage. Alright, I think it's a good enough time to move on to shit we forgot, which I don't think we forgot anything.
No, it's ironic, because once we added that segment, we really haven't forgotten much.
Yeah, if nothing else, that segment has made us remember more.
Yeah, which kind of makes me mad.
Yeah, I was hoping to use it more, but I don't think we should take it out, because the second we do, we're going to forget everything.
Absolutely.
So nothing this week from shit we forgot, and now it's time for Fuck This Thing. Who would you like to go first, Noah?
You can go first.
Okay. I forgot what mine was. Hold on.
I can go first.
Okay.
So my Fuck This Thing is, so I'm gonna describe to you the arc of being Noah. I wake up in the morning, and I absolutely hate life. You know? I struggle to communicate with anybody for about an hour.
It's not unlike most people.
Yeah, until the coffee kicks in, I'm pretty much unbearable. And then around I'll drink coffee till around 11 o'clock in the morning, maybe noon sometimes, and then around 3 or 4 to 8, I'll crash. So my Fuck This Thing is that crash after the coffee, and I just get super tired, and it's right when work's ending, so on the way home, I'm just exhausted and ready for bed, and then I get home, and I'm just too tired to do anything.
Yeah, that's the worst thing about working life, is the fatigue of coming home at 5 or 6.
Yeah. I've always thought people that work is you have the whole day for yourself.
Yeah.
When you're in school, you're just studying a lot.
Yeah, you feel that's it. With school, you always feel like you have to do something. When you're done with work, you're done. But then you're just tired as shit.
Yeah.
That whole time.
So yeah, between 3 to 7:30, 8, fuck that. Because it's that's around that time I hit peak Noah. That's when I'm at my best.
Peak Noah.
Yeah. So yeah, I really hit my stride around 8 every day, which is unfortunate because it's not how you want. That's not the best time to hit your stride in normal world.
8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
That's a legitimate Fuck This Thing.
Mhm. I was proud of it when I thought of it.
Okay. So here's my Fuck This Thing, and it's kind of a nod to our second homeland, as I like to call it, and that's Mother England.
Oh my god. Pinner!
Pinner forever. I miss Ideal Fish Bar at least twice a week, a lot.
I do miss it, but my heart doesn't.
No, my body is physically very glad that I haven't eaten there in a long time. We went to London in 2014.
We did.
That was 4 years ago.
We were just talking about 2014, how far
Fuck
away
us.
it was. God damn.
It should be us.
Holy shit, it should be us. God damn. 2014 was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
That's almost half a decade.
Anyway, so I'm sure you've heard the saying, risk it for a biscuit.
That's a great saying.
For some reason, in the UK, I don't know why, but the phrase has become risk it for a chocolate biscuit. And that's fucking stupid.
That doesn't even fucking flow.
No, it doesn't. I don't know why you even add the chocolate part. It just makes it sound awkward.
That's idiotic. Fuck that.
Also, what the fuck's a chocolate biscuit? I know in England it's just a cookie, but that's dumb.
It's so dumb. Biscuit is your thing, England.
Yeah. Don't
Fuck
ruin
that.
it with this fucking stupid saying.
This is I feel like they did it because we took that saying and then they wanted to be unique. You know? That's why we say soccer. Soccer actually originally originated from England, and then we were saying, and they're like, we want to be different from America.
Yeah.
So fuck all of England, except for Pinner.
Pinner is a magical place where dreams come true. Alright, yeah, that's my fuck this thing. That's all I got. You got anything else?
I don't think so.
Alright, this was a fun episode, I think.
This was a really good episode.
We'll have another episode in a couple weeks. If all goes to plan, that is. Every time I give a timeline, we always miss it for some weird reason.
Yeah, I'm glad we've stopped saying see you next week.
You said it. I wasn't even gonna say it again.
Oh, I kind of just did say it, didn't I? But
yeah, it will be back.
For a while.
We'll hopefully. I'm not gonna make any. We'll hopefully be back at some point in the time of history.
Well put.
That's the hardest promise I can make.
Everybody's gonna think that we're done. This is the last episode.
No, this is not the last episode. I promise. Fuck. Alright. Bye forever. Stay drunk, everyone.
Stay drunk.